Hi, folks. Steve Walsh here, also known as the Hands-On Angel. And I wanted to just go through a quick pitch deck update because I look at a lot of decks, probably 10 to 15 a week, and I've looked at 3,000 decks in the last 6 or 7 years. And a lot of times founders ask me, Steve, what does a good deck look like? So I wanted to highlight and just walk through a deck that's actually 16 years old. The deck that I'm going to walk through is the deck that Airbnb used to raise their first pre-seed round of $600,000 in 2008. And I'm highlighting this because a lot of times founders think that decks need to be flashy and have a lot of fly-ins. What I really want to highlight is the substance, the idea, the team, and the traction. So this is what Airbnb used to raise the round. In fact, it was called Air Bed and Breakfast. It wasn't even called Airbnb. So right off the bat, book rooms with locals rather than hotels. So the thing that they do really well is understand their problem. First of all, price is an important concern for customers. Hotels leave you disconnected, and there's really no easy way to book a room and become a host. So their solution is a web platform that allows users to rent out their space so they can save money when traveling, make money when hosting, and share culture within the connection to the city. So they really understand their solution and what they're doing. Market validation, at this time in 2008, there was also already 600,000 users on couchsurfing.com, which I don't even think exists anymore. And there was 50,000 users on Craigslist that were looking for temporary housing listings back in 2008, 2009. The market size was massive. How many trips are booked worldwide? How many people are booking online? So the market was growing. It was absolutely perfect timing for this type of a solution. And this is the original product. It looks very different from the experience you would have on Airbnb today. But remember, this was an MVP in 2008, but it did allow you to search by city, review the listings, and most importantly, book it. So it was a functional, working MVP. Their business model, very simple to understand. They take a 10% commission on every transaction. And then they talk about what the market would be, what their average fee would be per night. And then what do they think they can grow this from 2008 to 2011? $2 billion in revenue with an average fee per night of $80 and an average stay of 3 nights. Talks about their adoption strategy. They did a number of events, actually in-person events, to get in front of these customers. They did partnerships with travel companies and actually did some postings right on Craigslist, who at the time was a competitor there. So there's a lot of different ways to go to market, but a lot of this was grassroots and just rudimentary. How do you get as many eyeballs on this as possible? So they had a go-to-market strategy. There wasn't really a ton of competition, and the competition that was out there was fragmented. A lot of it was offline. A lot of it was expensive. There was no one really doing things online from a transaction perspective and also affordable in nature. And that's the need and the piece of the market that Airbnb was fitting. The advantages, first to market. This is massive. They were one of the first companies to ever do that. There was an incentive for the host to actually do this so they could make money and list once and then post once, and you have multiple people looking at your listing. So there was a lot of advantages, and they highlight those advantages compared to everybody else in the market. The team, a lot of these guys are actually from New England, which is where I'm from. They had a computer science guy, so they knew how to code. They had folks that had design, consulting backgrounds. A lot of them went to the Rhode Island School of Design, actually. But they had folks that understood this marketplace and actually could build the product and have built product in the past. So they had a really cohesive team. They were getting some play in the press, people talking about what they were doing. Anytime you can get validation in the press from either the press or your customers, it's a good thing. User testimonials, their customers loved the product. Anytime you can get customers talking about your product, it's the best way by far to tell the story of your startup, is let the customers talk about how much they love the product and what it does for them. This is what they were raising. They went out to raise $500,000. They actually raised $600,000, and that was going to get them 12 months of runway, and it was going to get them to $2 million in revenue. So it gave you a look into, if we raise this money, here's our average transaction, here's how much runway we're going to get, here's the number of transactions, and here's the revenue. So that's just a quick view into the Airbnb pitch deck, again from 2008. I would say it is as relevant today as it was back then. And it goes to show you it's about substance, the idea, the team, and how you package it to get people excited about what you're doing when it comes to pitch deck formation. I hope that's helpful, and we'll see y'all real soon.